Wake up, Eragon. He stirred and groaned. Book 1, Eragon, Chapter 37, Legacy of a Writer. Welcome to Eragon and Back Again, a podcast where we explore Christopher Paolini's inheritance cycle one chapter at a time. I'm Lucy Hart.
And I'm Darien Smart. And I'm going to go back and make a compilation of how many times we had to start an episode with Eragon waking up.
It's so many. It's so many.
Maybe I'll save it for the end of the... I'll wait
to the end
of book one, and then I will go
and then go for it
every time Eragon woke up.
Yep.
Because, hey, I don't think we would have noticed if we didn't do our reading the first sentence.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't, like, when I was listening to these chapters, did not register.
No.
I was just like, yeah, and now I'm going back, I'm like, wait, hold on. But
for that reason, I don't think it's actually bad, because we wouldn't notice otherwise, but because we decided to make it the thing, it just becomes like it sounds so repetitive for us, apparently, and I need you to mix it.
We need to mix it up. But before we go all into it, do you have a spark of inspiration?
I have a little geode I want to share.
Yes.
Just a small one. I have had a big struggle writer's block for a while. Was really having a hard time just finishing my draft. I know how it ends, but I just couldn't get there.
Yeah.
So I finally, now that I have find the creative energy, being able to get in the groove again, I am going back and rereading my drafts and making edits, which is something I didn't want to do until I was done, but I'm hoping, my plan was just to reread it and hopefully that gets me back in the brain set. But since I'm already in those docs revisiting it and a lot of things have changed and added, I'm just revising it. And so I've gotten, last night was up very late. Anyway, I told the story 3 times in a row, but was revising chapter 1. And I like it so much better.
Oh, that's so good. That's always good.
Mm-hmm. I think I needed to add more, I needed to make the character's first location feel more real.
Yeah.
Because even though the character doesn't spend a lot of time there, the fate of their home is an important motivating factor.
Yeah.
And it needed to feel real to the readers.
Yeah.
But simultaneously, it needed to also demonstrate a little bit more on what it was like for this character in their home and why necessarily, while they don't want anything bad to happen to their home, they want to keep it safe, why they would have reasons for not necessarily wanting to return home.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I like it a lot more. I'm very pleased with it. I think I got to add a little bit more. And in doing so, fleshed out a lot more about this character and his history in a way that felt more natural, more fluid, more satisfying.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Than before. Thank you. Yes. So my geode, it's just this draft 2.0 of chapter 1, which is, I will tell you, it's called An Ill-Timed Discovery.
I love that. That's a good title.
Thank you.
Yes.
I like chapter titles.
Yes.
I like fun chapter titles. So
very cool.
So my little geode is just the second version of this chapter, which is very good. I also realized I have white room syndrome real bad. I actively do not like describing places.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of describe this building, describe this thing, and now going through I'm making myself flesh this out, but it is helpful doubling back to when I talked about Has Been Hotel ages ago, and that inspiration being let it be maximalist, let it be giving myself permission for the world itself to feel fantastical has helped me a lot, being okay, this village gets to be colorful and grand, and this little glassblower shop gets to be magical, and they aren't using tools, they're literally molding it with their bare hands and magic. Why not? It's mine. I can do what I want with it.
Absolutely. That's very, very, very cool.
So my geode.
Very good. Very good geode.
What about you, Luce?
I think my spark of inspiration, not necessarily, it's not towards writing, but it is toward creativity.
Awesome.
Is tattoos. So I actually have, for my birthday, I went to my tattoo place and got it scheduled for my chest piece. And I'm very excited for it.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to be, it's going to be a lot of money because color and detail
tattoos
and all
than
these.
me.
Yes.
I mean, more than one. Which is
more
what we
than
currently both have. Now my new recommendation is I have to go get a tattoo. Lucy's gonna get a tattoo. I could get another. Sorry, go.
Yeah,
on,
no,
Luce.
you're good. But I'm just gonna be paying month until I get to that point. Because they don't do payment plans after the tattoo, which is understandable. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do.
It's cool they do payment plans in advance.
Yeah,
that's
awesome. What he's letting me do. So I'm very cool with that. So it's not all just one big chunk at that time. But what really got me inspired is I'm also doing a touch-up for the one on my forearm in April.
Nice.
Because I want to see if I can get my Toothless's eye to pop more.
Nice.
Because the green did kind of not pop out as much as I would like it to. And he kind of did. He looked at it and I'm like, yeah, the green. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's so small.
happens.
Yeah. So we'll see what we can do about that. But I'm excited. I'm doing that. By the time this episode comes out, it'll already have happened.
Woo!
But I'm excited to do that at
Lucy's
the time of
getting
this
a
recording.
chest piece.
Yes,
and
I'm
that's
getting a chest piece.
Loose. That's your sternum.
Yeah,
That's
it's
tough
gonna
girl
be
shit.
rough. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. My girlfriend recommended numbing cream because I'm like, fair, because it's on my sternum.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm like,
cream.
all right, numbing cream, excellent. But I'm excited because it's going to be the one that is going to be the Adventure Zone themed with I Choose Joy. So even though Merle,
no, if you're getting your tattoo, I have to get mine.
Claire's gonna get a Phantasmal and Resplendent on her shoulder.
Or she's gonna get Phantasmal. What else would she get but Phantasmal and Resplendent?
We're both very excited.
Damn. Okay. Well, then I gotta get. You're going to be amazing. Like, might as well gotta pull the fucking shit. No, I'm going to Disneyland. I need to save money. I can't get tattoos. I'm going to buy churros.
Yeah, but so that's part of it. I'm super excited to get those tattoos. But in the meantime, I'm like, oh, I could get this tattoo and I could get that. Now I have like 4 other ideas for tattoos. And so I went from having to want to get like 1, 2, 3, 4 tattoos to like 6.
Yeah,
so
that's what happened.
I'm just like really inspired to be like, I paint my body the way I want. So I'm just excited.
That's so good.
Yes. And it's not paint. It's
you're decorating
I'm
your
decorating.
body.
That's the word. Decorating my body.
So let's talk about, to pivot entirely.
Yes.
Legacy of a writer. Brom's past comes to light. He was a writer whose dragon, Saphira, died when Galbatorix came to power. Brom also was once friends with Morzan before he was a Forsworn, whom Brom killed in combat while he was stealing the dragon egg from Galbatorix. Brom gives Eragon his blessing before breathing his last.
Yep. It's very lightning, like enlightening, and it's also very sad. It's a very enlightening and very sad chapter.
Yep. It is. As I said, it opens with Eragon waking up. And again, it's not bad because it is Saphira like rousing him awake because something is wrong.
And Brom is thrashing.
Murtagh said Mordred.
Mordred.
It's not my fault.
No.
Paolini, you know what you did. Murtagh is like trying to hold Brom down, like he is having a seizure, and he's trying to keep him from hurting himself. And
Eragon touched Brom's forehead. The skin was so hot that the heat could be felt an inch away.
That's not good.
That's really
infection.
Not good. That's infection, like real bad fever. But Brom wakes up. He has a moment of
clarity.
And he gasps, bring me the water skin or the wine skin.
It's important. It's the
wine skin because Eragon's like, you should not be drinking right now.
You only make it worse. Bring it, boy. Just bring it.
And then, all right, hold on. And then he goes, and I like this scene of him frantically searching and then just being like, I can't find it. And Murtagh, again, proving what a good boy he is. Here, take mine. Like,
just again, instantly holding out his, like, here, take mine. Obviously, I have it right here.
And then also, like, in the same kind of, like, area, Eragon grabbed it and returned to Brom. I have the wine, he said, kneeling. Murtagh retreated to the cave's mouth so they could have privacy.
Yeah, because he's like, this was only going to end one way.
Yeah, it does have that vibe of Murtagh knows, and he also knows that they are companions. Like Ben, he doesn't really know them, but they're together, and so he gives them the privacy they need to have this moment.
Yeah, and so Brom's next words were fate and instinct. Good. Now, wash my right hand with it.
What?
No questions. I haven't time. And this is how we know it's important that it was wine. Because wine has alcohol in it.
Yep.
And when you're wearing waterproof makeup on your hand to hide your goddamn Dragon Rider symbol, then you can't just get water to wash it off. Nope. It has to be wine. But that was a thing that popped in my head today where I was like, wine has... When I was it was last night when I was taking my makeup off.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like, I can't just wash it with water and soap. I have to have the makeup remover.
Yep.
Because it's waterproof.
Yep. He scrubbed vigorously as brown dye floated off Brom's palm. And then There, on Brahm's palm, was the Geode Ignatia.
You're a writer?
A painful smile flickered on Brahm's face. Once upon a time, that was true, but no more.
So, yeah, now we knew the whole time.
Yes.
And I think you knew the whole time, regardless of whether you read the book before. Like,
it was very fishy. This was
like, I think Paolini, if you didn't know, it's like, that's how he knew so much about riders. That's why he was chosen by the Varden to train the next rider. Like, that makes so much sense. Simultaneously, does it make so much sense? Or was it like, yes, and why did we pretend like this needed to be a secret? I mean, Eragon's shocked. And I'm like, hey, why are you shocked? I guess it's like the riders died so long ago that we don't know that riders can live past their dragons being gone.
Yeah.
So that could be like why, but that's not, I think, outlined clear enough for me not to be like,
yeah. But it, like, in this we learn how old Brahm is, because he does mention that I became friends with another apprentice, Morzan, before he was a Forsworn. Eragon gasped. That had been over 100 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then he talks about my dragon was killed during the fight of Duro Ariba, and her name was Saphira. And then it kind of like, we understand that's why he whispered that last name with
Saphira.
Such sorrow, is because that was
his
dragon. And then also, like, I'm with you. Like, I don't necessarily agree with this. Why didn't you tell me this before? Asked Eragon softly. Brahm laughed. Because there was no need to.
Mm-hmm. Wow, no need, Brahm. But right now, as you're dying, you're desperately trying to get this information to Eragon. Wow. So we really think there was no need. He didn't know this, but you also recognize that it's so utterly important that Eragon does at some point know this information, Brahm. Wow, interesting, Brahm. Interesting, Brahm.
Yeah, it is. It goes back to and it, like, I will give this to Paolini. It is very Brahm's character. That is a very Brahm response.
It's so weird. Yes, because he said over and over again, you don't need to know.
You don't need to know.
So him deciding there's no need. It's like, yeah, but like, I will still be from like a reader. It's like, no. This, like, oh, it's my business. And it's like, no, you need to show a goddamn resume of why you are the most qualified person for Eragon to trust, and flashing that symbol at the, it would be like, this is literally what it is. And maybe it's like this because this is Star Wars.
Yeah.
So much of this book is these, especially the first two, are some Star Wars ass shits.
Yeah.
And we talk about it. It's Star Wars. It's Dragon Riders of Pern. It's Lord of the Rings. We stand on the shoulders of giants, and sometimes we hold up mirrors a little too close.
Yeah.
But it would very much be like if Luke Skywalker went to Obi-Wan and was like, R2-D2 has this message and we gotta bounce. And he was like, that's weird and mysterious. All right, I'll help you. Why? Don't worry about it. How do you know so much about the Force? That's my business.
Yeah.
Because it is literally, this is Obi-Wan who's like, yes, I used to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
I was a Jedi Knight. I fought in the Clone Wars with your father.
Mm-hmm.
He was killed by Darth Vader. We were friends. He literally is saying that. Brahm is like, yes, I was a Dragon Rider. Yep. I was friends with one of the bad guys who fell. I guess initially when Obi-Wan delivers those lines, Anakin was not Darth Vader at the time. That was something that was like added to the lore when they were working on the Empire Strikes Back. But it's still the same. So honestly, in my brain, the only reason we didn't know this about Brahm from the jump was because we were trying to shy a little bit away from the New Hope Obi-Wan Kenobi comparisons.
Yeah. That's fair.
For the detriment. Because if it wasn't important, Brahm wouldn't desperately be trying to tell Eragon it now.
Right now. Yep.
And that's all I'm allowed to yell about it.
Yep. And then he goes on to say that he's very old, which I think like that also highlights that I don't think he regrets passing away at this moment. Like, he's not afraid of death. He's so old. He's he's ready.
He calls it the greatest adventure of all when he actually passes.
And I do like that. After all this time, I still grieve for my Saphira and hate Galbatorix for what he tore from me. Mm-hmm. And adding again, just like that hate for the Empire and Galbatorix and everything. And then I like this is like, don't let that happen to you. Don't. Guard Saphira with your life, for without her, it's hardly worth living. And that's just
it's
impactful. Like, even after 100 years, he's still grieving for his dragon. Like, that gaping hole left in you is just atrocious.
He's always like, I can't last much longer. This is a grievous wound. It saps my strength. I have not the energy to fight it. Before I go, will you take my blessing? No, Eragon, everything will be all right. You don't have to do this.
Yep. And it's very, for me, it's very reminiscent of Garrow.
It's so reminiscent of Garrow.
Giving his blessing to Eragon. And
it's literally, it's like, it's in reverse. Because Garrow gave a blessing before the Razak, but still, and it's like, and so much has changed, but nothing has changed at all.
Yep.
Because Eragon was ultimately still powerless to protect someone he loved and looked up to from the Razak.
Yep. And I also think it's, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if Garrow gives Eragon his blessing. He gives Rowan his blessing, and Eragon is there. But I don't think he directly gives, or is it a blanket?
He gives Rowan a blessing, but then he gives them both advice about being men.
Yes.
So it is like, so
it is very it's still very reminiscent to that.
And I think it ties on to even, it's like intentional, because later on, like, Garrow gives, I think he does give the blessing specifically to Rowan.
Yes.
Who is his son, Garrow is his father. And then here Eragon's when he creates the tomb and has a final, a tribute on the stone, it says, here lies Brahm, who was a dragon rider and like a father to me. And so that is, like, I think very much an intentional. But specifically, it's like he speaks words from the ancient language. So it's not just this symbolic blessing of like what Garrow gave to Rowan. There is power. There's magic in this word.
He gives him 7 words. He's like, he gives him his blessing, and very quietly he whispered 7 words from the ancient language, even more softly, told him what they meant. So he's giving Eragon more ancient language words. I don't know if we ever figure out what those were.
It feels like we are remedying the Brissinger thing, where I'm like, how did you know? That seems weirdly convenient. Okay, where in the future, if Eragon just busts out a word, it's like, it's probably one of those words that Brahm
that's
told
fair.
him.
You know what? Yeah, that's very fair.
Brahm blindly turned his eyes to the ceiling, and now for the greatest adventure of all.
Yep. And I have highlighted this whole scene because I like, as a reader and a writer, that Brahm just does not immediately die.
No, he's just
dying and passing
hours.
For hours.
That's
what actually happens
when you die of something like this.
It's slow. It's not immediate, and I really appreciate that. And it's also just powerless to help. Eragon could only watch as the Razak's wound took its toll, and just like Eragon can't do anything.
The evening hours were young and the shadows long when Brahm suddenly stiffened. Eragon called his name and cried for Murtagh's help, but they could do nothing. Again, I love that he already trusts Murtagh. Sorry, this is about Brahm, but the fact that he calls to Murtagh for help,
and again, adding on to what you said last episode, was they could do nothing.
Yeah,
like they're already
like a unit. Yeah. And just the barren silence dampened the air. Brahm locked his eyes with Eragon's. Then contentment spread across the old man's face, and a whisper of breath escaped his lips. And so it was that Brahm the storyteller died. That is some fantasy-ass prose right there.
I love it.
And I love it. Yes. We earned it. We deserve it. It gets to be floofy. It gets to be purple.
Yep.
Yes. And so it was. Brahm the storyteller died.
I honestly, in this moment, it was a really interesting, because like as a younger kid, like reading this, didn't really clock for me. But for me, it literally felt like we're with Eragon, and then it's almost like we step out and we're with Paulini. Yeah. And Paulini is like, and so it was that Brahm the storyteller died. And I don't know why that was so cool to me,
because it feels like how Brahm would want it almost feels like we're with Paulini, but we're with Brahm all of a sudden
telling his story. And Brahm's final it really does, and I love that. Like, so even though it's like, it's interesting because I feel like there is like this like discrepancy of being like, hey, don't have that. Like, I feel like it's like, don't let the
camera draw out so far.
Draw out too much because it takes you out. But this,
and I think this book is allowed to do that. Yes. We've gotten those moments before. We've talked about early on where we're just like, why did it word like this? That's not why Eragon, because it doesn't feel like a thing that Eragon would think.
Yes.
It feels like a thing that Brahm would say. And sometimes it's like, I think there's another version where we're just like, that's a weird way for it to be phrased when it's in Eragon's POV, but it's just the weight of the death and the fact that it's Brahm's death.
Yes.
And the storyteller, and we just
fitting.
learned he was the right, and the fact that it's Brahm the storyteller died.
Yes.
Because he's only just learned. He was like, it's so much.
Yep.
And Saphira raised her head behind him and roared mournfully at the sky, keening her lamentation.
Yep.
Eragon tells Murtagh that we have to bury him. We might be seen, Murtagh says. I don't care. Murtagh hesitated, then bore Brahm's body out of the cave, along with his sword and staff.
And that's like a big, like, Brahm is, not Brahm,
Murtagh
is
carrying
him. Because Eragon
can't do it. He's
and
still
so
injured.
Murtagh,
He's like, okay, again, it's like, this is my best friend.
Yeah, this is my best friend.
My best
I would
friend,
do everything
Murtagh.
to die.
And so they take him all the way to the top because they found refuge in the cave. We didn't talk about last chapter. And the crown of Sandstone Hill. We can't dig a grave out of stone, objected Murtagh. I can do it. And he does with magic. He like shapes the stone into a depression and they lay Brahm's body inside of it. And then he shapes it again with magic and just flows it up over a space upward into a tall fractured spiral. As a final tribute, Eragon set runes to the stone. Here lies Brahm, who was a dragon rider and like a father to me. May his name live on in glory.
Yep. And then he bowed his head and mourned freely. He stood like a living statue until evening, when the light faded from the land.
I deeply appreciate Eragon being allowed to grieve.
Yes.
The weeping, the mourning, the grieving, and not trying to fight it, not being like, I can't show because Murtagh, this other man is here and I can't, like, no. That it was not the case with Garo.
Yep,
it's not the case with
here.
Brahm. Like, listen, this is some Lord of the Rings as men cry.
Yep.
They hold their friends tenderly.
Yes.
Like, we always are in
it.
favor of seeing real emotion being expressed. Then we have a dream about the lady again and she's in danger.
Yep.
I promise I will care about that. I promise I'll care about it. I don't. It's so weird here. He dreams of the woman. She's in prison again. He could tell something was wrong with her. Her breathing was irregular and she shook. Whether from cold or pain, he did not know. In the semi-darkness of the cell, the only thing that was clearly illuminated was her hand, which hung over the edge of the cot. A dark liquid dripped from the tips of her fingers. Eragon knew it was blood.
So she's laying there bloody and in danger. And it almost... I don't know if we haven't read the next chapter yet, so we don't really know. And we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
But like, we don't know if Eragon just plays that off as like, I just experienced another death and now I am witnessing this woman also maybe dying.
Yeah.
So it could... But it's a very sorrowful ending, and then even amplified by that pain.
It is, yeah, it is so... It's like, again, it's like Luke Skywalker, instead of having rescued Princess Leia just now and then losing Obi-Wan Kenobi, it's like Obi-Wan dies and then he sees a vision of Leia being tortured.
Yeah.
Like, that's basically what it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm only making the comparison because I made the Obi-Wan thing earlier.
Yeah.
Like, it is. Anyway, so Murtagh is Han Solo. And I did it.
Yes.
So, but he's not. Well, actually, Murtagh is Chewbacca.
Murtagh's Chewbacca.
Always there for you, ride
That's
or die,
true.
whatever you
That
need.
is
I got
true.
you. I'll carry C-3PO on my back.
Yeah,
like,
that's true. That's true.
Listen, we all know Han Solo's the cool guy.
Yeah.
But we all know it's Chewie carrying the team.
Yep,
So.
I agree.
So that was heavy. Usually when it's heavy, we want to be like, pivot. Here's a fun thing. But like, sincerity, I gotta say, I think the question for this one is like, what is the fictional death that hit you hardest? Like maybe the first one or the one that stuck with you the longest, and like, and I'm sorry. I am sorry. It is Dumbledore. And I am sorry. And I know. And we know.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to be leveling with y'all for me.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I think mine talked about Sarah J. Maas in the last episode, but I'll just like really quick right in here. I have read Sarah J. Maas's first book of the Crescent City series, House of Earth and Blood. And again, huge spoilers, so I'm going to put a skip right here. I'll just say for everyone else who wants to skip, there's a death at the ending of the book that always, I've listened to that book 3 times, it makes me sob cry every time. So anyone who wants to skip now. The death is a fire sprite called Lahaba, and she sacrifices herself to give Bryce the one up to kill this awful angel who killed her best friend.
Oh.
And it makes me sob cry every time because she starts doing this like warrior's dance. I'm getting chills thinking about it. She's saying, I'm descendant of Queen Lanthea Drawl, and my friends are behind me and I am not afraid. And she just, I'm gonna get all choked up about it. She just says it over and over and over again until it just evolves to I am not afraid. And it makes me sob cry, as you can tell by my constricted throat right now. Every time. It is so good.
Yeah.
So good. And I'm going to stop talking. I just love her book so much. I'm in the middle of reading them, so it's all just
it's
in
all
my
fresh.
brain.
It's all fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If I was reading a Shadowhunters book, you know I'd be right there. Oh man, Livy dying in the Queen of Air and Darkness. That got me. That threw me real hard. It was just so fast and so abrupt, and I was like, "Oh my god, one of the twins? The twins!"
Yeah.
But we forgot to do writing takeaway.
Oh, writing takeaway. Yep.
The writing takeaway, I think, for me is, like we talked about, the line of just, listen, as writers, sometimes we get to have a little purple prose.
Yep.
As a treat.
Yep. I agree. I'm going to stick with that one. I think it is okay to step out sometimes. I think if it fits the tone, because this really fit the tone.
Yes.
Because there are times where it wouldn't fit right
weird.
at all. So yeah, if it fits the tone and you're like, this is the only way that I think will have the most impact, do it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for always being here, listening to
all the comments,
support.
Yep.
Maybe we just did 2 back-to-back, and so we actually read all the recent comments we got up at the point in time. But there will be plenty more next episode, I promise. So let us know.
Yes.
And if you want more, you can get another episode of us talking about Anne McCaffrey's The Dragon Rise of Pern, the very first book, Dragonflight. That's over on Patreon, patreon.com/EABA. That's where we're going to be putting once a month bonus episodes for anyone who supports the show, just talking about other dragon media.
Yep.
And that's just a cool way. If you have some extra, you want to help support our show, you want to help us get more tools that'll make editing the podcast easier for Lucy.
Yes.
That's the best way to do it. But of course, listening to the show, recommending the show, sharing the writing takeaways on Instagram. If you're on Instagram, sharing that to like your stories, that's a really cool way to support the show.
Absolutely.
So, just big thank you to everybody. We deeply appreciate it.
Yes, very much. Thank you so much. But until then, she's Darien Smart.
And she's Lucy Hart.
And this has been Eragon.
And back again.